Hi everybody!
In one of my previous videos, I covered why I think we're getting a new Spyro game next year. After the fact, one of my editors showed me a picture which will be popping up on screen now. It's the Platinum Trophy name for Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon. It says party like it's 2024. So I thought now would be a good time to discuss that and some of the other aspects I didn't cover in my previous video. So let's start with the Platinum Trophy. This kind of builds on one of the points I raised in my previous video, that being 2024 is the Year of the Dragon. This year also marks Spyro's 25th anniversary.
I'm old, Gandalf.
Is pretty much how I'm feeling right now after realizing that fact. Anyways, Toys for Bob have been adding coy details hinting at future Spyro projects for a while now. First with the Platinum Trophy saying party like it's 2024. They then included a Spyro balloon in one of Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time levels, and left little Easter eggs, or should I say dragon eggs for the keen-eyed to find in both the Crash 4 art book and in their Happy New Year post earlier this year. Either Toys for Bob have something to share with the class, or they're doing a massive troll job.
Alright, I'm just gonna come out and say it. My god, the lame jokes this morning are hilariously bad. Jesus.
Let's face it, Crash Team Rumble, formerly known as Wampa League, is probably the best way Toys for Bob could announce a brand new Spyro title. We already know he's going to appear in that game at some point, so when it comes time to roll out the Spyro update to Crash Team Rumble, boom, Bob's your uncle.
Do I even have to say anything at this point? Like, okay, you have some lame jokes today, Colin, but you are outdoing yourself, like, wow. I guess this is a new year for you.
And you've just done the perfect Shadow Drop board game. If I were a betting man, I'm betting this is how they do it. However, they might merely drop more dragon eggs that will ultimately lead to an announcement at the Game Awards. While I do think that view has some merit and it might bear dragon fruit,
no.
I think Toys for Bob might do something else entirely and wait for a different event. If you look at Activision's MO for releasing both Crash and Spyro titles, they tend to do it 12 to 6 months before release. It was a full year for the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy and 6 months for CTR Nitro Fueled. Crash 4 was announced in late June and released in early October. That's all well and good of course, but that's putting pretty heavy emphasis on a derpy orange marsupial. Admittedly, Crash being just marginally older as a franchise probably helps. PlayStation kids were able to grasp onto him earlier than Spyro. If you look at the marketing blitz for the Reignited trilogy, teasers went out in April with an official announcement that month. The game was originally supposed to release in September of 2018, but got pushed back 2 months. Basically, if Activision plan on releasing a game in either franchise, they try to make the announcements less than a year out from release. So this brings me on to my next point. When do I think we'll actually see Spyro and his next game? I think if Wampa League is the announcement route chosen, we'll probably see Spyro in either late Q1 of 2024, or we'll see it in late Q3 to mid Q4. For whatever release, Activision likes to release Crash and Spyro in second quarters of the respective years. However, historically the franchise tends to release in third to fourth quarters when handled by Sony. Based off the fact we have a rather open slate of games in 2024, I think it's a safe bet to say we'll see Spyro either very early on, when there's very little competition, or just in time for the holiday season, as Activision will be able to capitalize on those time frames best. Summer can be hit or miss for video game releases. You'd think, considering most gamers hate going outside, they'd decide to load up the summer and the back half of the year. Anyways, I'm going to throw out some predictions for possible release dates. I'm going to say we'll either get the game on Tuesday, June 11th, or we'll see it release on Thursday, October 10th. Why do I feel like we'll see it in the middle of June or the middle of October though? For June, I'm predicting that because Activision seems to like that month for Crash, so I'd wager they'd want to release Spyro then as well. Just a year after Wampa League. Also, video games often release on Tuesdays for some reason. As for why I think October 10th could be the release date, that's because the last Spyro game developed by Insomniac Games came out on that date. That one being Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon. Also, as I stated previously, 2024 is the year of the dragon. It just aligns too perfectly. The absolute last date I could see Spyro 4 coming out would be November 10th of next year, because that's what European release dates for Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon was. While this doesn't build off any of my previous points, I do feel it's worth noting before I get turned into flame-roasted Nork in the comments section. We will see our favorite purple dragon sooner rather than later, mainly because Spyro is still an incredibly hot property, a quarter of the century into its life cycle. Activision knows they can't keep fans of the franchise out in the cold for long. They'd likely have been better served releasing a Spyro title in 2020 instead of Crash 4. However, I feel like the game just wasn't ready for prime time yet, hence why we got Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled in 2019, then Crash 4 in 2020. Had the trend continued, it would have been Crash, Spyro, Crash again, and then Spyro in 2024. Basically, while the cycle was broken, it's all adding up if you squint at it really hard. So I'd better wrap things up before my editor roasts me like Spyro roasts sheep.
I'm about to take an 8-hour drive to go to your place and burn you. Jeez, your jokes are bad today. Wow.
These were just some of my thoughts and reasons I couldn't include in my first video. At this point in time, I'd say keep your eyes peeled for Activision to start doing their gimmicky but sometimes cool marketing blitz for the next title. I'm going to compile a wish list of mine for what I'd like to see in Spyro 4 and put Godo back to work on editing more videos.
On that note, if you guys ever do want some video edits, links will be down below, and feel free to contact me. I take any projects, and it doesn't have to be a YouTube video. It can be a ceremonial, it can be anything. So contact me and I'll be happy to do an edit for you guys.
If you want to see more details on things I covered in the first video, you can check that out. Or you can take a look at whatever video YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. Until next time, keep blazing that trail.